How awesome this man is. His invincible cool style and literature is worth checking out. The most powerful sect master of Azure Abyss Sword Sect was just a little brat he rescued effortlessly back in the day. The fiend beast at the Mahayana stage couldn't even withstand a single sword strike from him. When his life essence was depleted, a large number of envoys of impermanence and nether judges arrived from the netherworld. In the end, they were also beaten black and blue. He's called Bai Auren, and is only at the chi refining stage, but he's the strongest 66664 layer ever in history. 3,000 years ago, he was taken in as a disciple by the genius sword immortal Azure Abyss Daoist. After Azure Abyss Daoist, he led the disciples to establish the Azure Abyss Sword Sect. Bai Auren, who possesses a celestial spiritual root tier, broke through the mortal body at the age of 12 and reached the chi refining stage. Look across the entire immortal cultivation world. People all think he will become the second Azure Abyss Daoist. He is also living up to everyone's expectations. Among his peers, he was the fastest to reach the chi refining 10 layer. Azure Abyss Daoist even gave up seclusion. He personally refined a furnace of supreme rank foundation establishment Dan pills for him. Bai Auren, carrying the foundation establishment Dan pills personally given by Shifu, with the blessings of fellow disciples and Daoist friends from the immortal cultivation world, broke through the foundation establishment stage in seclusion. 3 days later, he broke through. But what he broke through was the chi refining 11-layer stage. Azure Abyss Daoist comforted him. Obedient disciple need not worry. In ancient times, there were extraordinary individuals who reached as high as 15 layers in the chi refining stage. The achievements to come are limitless. Shortly after, his Shifu Azure Abyss Daoist successfully ascend to the heavens in broad daylight. The third ascension to immortality. Time flies. After the elder brother took over as sect leader, he failed to pass the heavenly tribulation and perished on the Tao path. The youngest sister's 6th great-grandchild successfully established their foundation. Even until today, including more than 700 years ago, the little brat he brought down the mountain for travel has become the Grand Elder. Today is the once in 20 years disciple election. The sect has recruited many handsome men and beautiful women. In the evening, dark clouds densely cover the sky above Azure Abyss Sword Sect. Thunder and lightning are frequent. One thunderbolt after another strikes the great sect guarding formation. Disciples, quickly go and report to the sect leader and ring the alarm bell. The new disciple is so scared. It's only the first day. My immortal cultivation journey is over. He even took the opportunity to hug a female classmate. In the sky, a giant fiend beast is attacking the great sect guarding formation. While shouting, "Azure Nether old man, I have come for revenge," it continued to bombard the great sect guarding formation. With a loud boom, the formation that had stood for thousands of years was shattered. The mountain gate was also destroyed in the process. A beam of light shot out from the main peak like a shooting star. In the light and shadows, there is a figure. Where does the fiend freak dare to cause trouble in the Azure Abyss Sword Sect? Fiend loudly shouted at the ignorant juniors. How dare they call me Thunder Demonic Lord a fiend freak? Today, I am here to settle scores with Azure Nether old man. Thunder Demonic Lord. 3,000 years ago, the Thunder Beast sealed by Azure Abyss Daoist. The person is none other than the Patriarch Azure Abyss of the Azure Abyss Sword Sect, Cloudbreaker Daoist. 3,000 years ago, he has attained the Tao and ascended to immortality. You should go to the celestial realm to find him. Thunder Demonic Lord laughed and said, Ridiculous, ridiculous. This Azure Nether old man can actually ascend to the heavens in broad daylight. So be it. You are all disciples he left behind. Today, I will first destroy your sect. Then, I will seek revenge in the celestial realm. Cloudbreaker Daoist said to the disciples, Go to 7 Stars Peak and find Patriarch Uncle to come and help. The strength of immortal cultivators is divided into 9 stages: body tempering, chi refining, foundation establishment, golden Dan, Nascent Soul, Spirit Division, Body-Mind Fusion, Nirvana Tribulation, and Mahayana. Cloudbreaker Daoist thought to himself, "This Thunder Beast already possesses Mahayana stage strength. After falling into the demonic path, its power has skyrocketed. My Body-Mind Fusion stage is no match at all." Then he shouted that he would flatten the Azure Abyss Sword Sect, and he would personally meet the Thunder Demon veteran with peerless attainment. The Thunder Demonic Lord grabbed with a claw. "Die, you scum!" Cloudbreaker Daoist quickly defended himself with his sword. With a loud bang, a thunderstorm burst open directly. The scene switched. A disciple swiftly flew to 7 Stars Peak. After landing, the disciple felt extremely urgent. He disregarded all etiquette and directly landed in the courtyard. Upon arriving at the gate, he immediately reported that Azure Abyss Sword Sect was under attack. The disciple has come to ask Patriarch Uncle to come out and rescue. Bai Auren walked out and said, "Don't panic. Where is Cloudbreaker Daoist right now?" Disciple immediately replied that sect leader is currently at the mountain gate having a duel with someone. But as soon as he looked, he was surprised. Patriarch Uncle actually didn't have a shred of true essence, which surprised him. It's over. Next year on this day will be the Memorial Day of the Azure Abyss Sword Sect. The Chi refining stage simply cannot fly. Only saw Bai Auren's body crouching down. He exerted force with both feet. With a bang, he leaped out like a wisp of smoke. This disciple was amazed. He had never seen anyone leap faster and higher than flying. The scene changed. In front of the mountain gate, Cloudbreaker Daoist fought against Thunder Demonic Lord. All sect disciples are watching the battle in front of them. Cheer for the sect leader. Suddenly, the Thunder Demonic Lord uses a move called Heavenly Thunder Claw. Cloudbreaker Daoist quietly exclaimed, "This is bad." Then Cloudbreaker Daoist was directly embedded into the ground with a bolt of lightning. The newcomer disciple immediately shouted that the sect leader was knocked flying. "I really am not cut out for immortal cultivation. Mom, I want to go home." Cloudbreaker Daoist spat out blood, feeling that there was a huge gap in their cultivation stage. It was too difficult to fight, too forced. Thunder Demonic Lord laughed heartily. 1,000 years later, the successor of Azure Nether Old Man's strength is only SOSO. Let Azure Nether Old Man's sect gate be destroyed here today. Then it condensed into a big thunderball. Suddenly, something hit Thunder Demonic Lord on the side of his face. With a swoosh, Thunder Demonic Lord was directly knocked down. It was also embedded in the ground. The new disciple shouted loudly again that the fiend was kicked flying. "The sect is really strong. I am indeed suitable for immortal cultivation." Bai Auren has arrived. Cloudbreaker Daoist hurriedly called out, "Patriarch Uncle." Thunder Demonic Lord yelled with a swollen face, "Who is it that dared to ambush me, Thunder Demonic Lord?" "I am Bai Auren, representing beloved Shifu Azure Abyss Daoist to come and meet with you." Thunder Demonic Lord chuckled. It laughed so hard that tears came out. It was the funniest joke it had ever heard in its life. A Chi refining stage cultivator, who claimed to be the disciple of Azure Nether Old Man, rolled aside. "I can let you live." But Bai Auren said that's not acceptable. Then he angrily said, "Do you have any objections to the Chi refining stage?" Thunder Demonic Lord smiled and said, "Objections? I have no objections. Why don't you first try the Celestial Thunder Breath?" Other disciples were shouting for the sect leader to quickly get out of the way. However, the sect leader looked very confident. Bai Auren's momentum is overwhelming. As he raised his sword with one hand and uttered, "Crimson Flame Slash," a huge sword chi clashed with the Celestial Thunder Breath released by the Thunder Demonic Lord. They clashed together. The sword chi instantly cut the Celestial Thunder Breath in half before charging straight towards the face of the Thunder Demonic Lord. With a swift movement, the Thunder Demonic Lord's entire body was instantly cut into 2 halves. Watching the Thunder Demonic Lord being cut in half, Bai Auren said, "Don't underestimate a Chi refining stage cultivator." Oxhead and Horseface of the underworld black and white impermanence, dare not arrest that person. They dare not because they cannot defeat this person. Bai Auren said he wanted to bring Azure Abyss Daoist to learn from Thunder Demon. When Thunder Demon heard this, he laughed until tears flowed from his eyes. But it was instantly cut in half by the person in front of it with a sword. Inside the Azure Abyss Sword Sect, Bai Auren said, "Beloved Master's disciple, there is only me left. I will make sure to protect you." The sect leader also started to organize the sect after the great disaster. He asked two beautiful women elder, the sixth elder, cloud-flowing Daoist master. The seventh elder, cloud-serene Daoist master, asked the two of them to handle it. The two beautiful elder women received the order and transformed into a shooting star, heading far away. The scene returns. Sect leader asks Patriarch Uncle if there is anything else to command. Bai Auren talked about how time flies. The naive youth back then has now become a sect leader of a generation. The sect leader quickly added that all these were taken care of by Patriarch Uncle. If it weren't for Patriarch Uncle's rescue back then, there wouldn't be the me today. Bai Auren stood up and said, "I will go down the mountain for a trip tomorrow." The sect leader quickly said, "The Thunder Beast is attacking now. Other sects may not have received the message. Without Patriarch Uncle's help, there may be an accident." Bai Auren angrily said, "On the right path, against the 5 major sects, who can't you defeat? Who can defeat you in the 4 branches of the demonic sect? That's it, I don't believe it. You, a sect leader, can't even control the situation at home with a group of body-mind fusion stage and spirit division stage cultivators." The sect leader asked Patriarch Uncle why he had to come down the mountain. "You haven't been down Azure Abyss Mountain for hundreds of years." Bai Auren smiled proudly and said, "I'm about to break through the foundation establishment stage. I have a feeling. This time, I will definitely succeed in breaking through the foundation establishment stage, while others around me are also thinking the same thing." Bai Auren reached out and said to the sect leader, "Give me the money and also hand over the Sky Heart Herb." The sect leader immediately smiled and said, "Money matters are easy to discuss. But I plan to auction off the Sky Heart Herb. It may not necessarily help you to break through to foundation establishment." Bai Auren's face sank, and then he turned and left without saying a word. "I am going to find little Cloud Flowing for some money, and also chat with her about what happened 300 years ago. Cloud Mystery, Cloud Floating, and Cloud Fluffy are planning to watch her and Cloud Serene bathe together." The second elder, Cloud Mystery, shouted at the sect leader, "Senior brother, patriarch, and uncle for protecting us for over 3,000 years. Won't they even give us a small herb?" The fourth elder, Cloud Floating Daoist, then continued to talk about what the elders requested. "As disciples, we should do our best. Let's find it for the senior to show filial piety." The fifth elder also said, "This is the righteous words of the sect leader, senior brother, second senior brother, and fourth senior brother." Then he whispered in the sect leader's ear, "Back then, it was you who took the lead. Cloud Flowing and Cloud Serene started the conflict, and in the end, you suffered a great loss too." The sect leader suddenly felt immense pressure. Everyone stood up and looked at him. The sect leader immediately smiled and said, "Patriarch Uncle, I am your junior. Whatever you need, I will have someone deliver it to you." Bai Auren is thrilled, so obedient. The sect leader is already feeling helpless, as if his soul has left his body. Bai Auren has been cultivating chi refining for 3,000 years. He feels that this time he can break through to foundation establishment. Just now, he killed a Mahayana stage thunder beast with one sword. After receiving the resources, Bai Auren is preparing to go back and prepare materials for foundation establishment. But he just returned to 7 Stars Peak. He found someone in the house. With a loud bang, he opened the door, wanting to see who was so bold. Only to see a person sitting inside the room, wearing a Netherworld messenger uniform. He was surrounded by dark flames as Bai Auren sighed and said, "Shuelian, it's really you. What brings you here to see me?" Shuelian, as the Netherworld envoy of impermanence, said to Bai Auren, "Your time is running out." The scene freezes in an instant. The past vividly comes to mind. Bai Auren waved his hand, and here comes this day again. All right. I know you can go back now. Netherworld messenger Shuelian helplessly said, "It has been 3,000 years. You are almost ready to give up too." Bai Auren, who didn't care, dug into his nose and said, "Give up on what?" Shuelian suddenly erupted, saying, "After all these years, you still couldn't achieve foundation establishment. What are you cultivating for? Just die quickly and follow me into the Netherworld." Shuelian, who hails from the Netherworld, is under the command of Yama, the Lord of the Netherworld. She is one of the envoys of impermanence responsible for summoning souls. Despite Bai Auren's incredibly strong power, he is still a chi refining stage cultivator. A chi refining stage cultivator can live for at most 300 to 400 years. If they cannot reach foundation establishment, they will have to go to the Netherworld. The endless vital chi in Bai Auren's body ensures that their physical body will not decay. Additionally, due to having the celestial spiritual root tiers with elemental spiritual root, their body can fully absorb Dan pills, and can also take longevity Dan without limitation. Each time a person takes longevity Dan, they can increase their life essence by 5 years. However, due to its medicinal properties, the user can only take it a few times. After that, it will no longer have any effect. But Bai Auren doesn't have this limitation. So, he relied on longevity Dan to extend his life by 3,000 years. And Bai Auren and Shuelian met for the first time 2,000 years ago. Just then, Bai Auren's life essence was about to deplete for the first time. He was trapped in a true immortal ruins while Shuelian had just become a soul seizer, coming to seize his soul with the soul restraint iron chains. At this moment, Bai Auren had never felt spiritual chi so abundant. This was the feeling of a breakthrough. Shuelian walked up behind Bai Auren and said, "Your life essence has depleted. Come with me." At that moment, Bai Auren happened to feel that he was on the brink of a breakthrough. Embracing the dream of foundation establishment, he struggled to resist. As a result, he not only broke free from the soul-restraining chains transformed by the laws of the Netherworld, but also gave Shuelian a good beating. Angry Shuelian pursued Bai Auren relentlessly for several months without giving up. Only after Bai Auren consumed a new batch of longevity, Dan did he reluctantly return to the Netherworld. For more than 2,000 years, whenever Bai Auren's life was about to end, Shuelian would come out to cause him trouble. That's how the two of them established a grudge. Until a few hundred years ago, when Bai Auren's end was near again, a large group of soul captors and nether judges were mobilized from the Netherworld to assist Shuelian in his actions. But after failing to capture him, the Netherworld gradually gave up the plan to take away Bai Auren's soul and spirit. Now Shuelian has basically become the life clock of Bai Auren. Whenever his end is approaching, this soul captor will come to remind him. Your sea of chi is many times greater than that of ordinary people. Foundation establishment requires condensing vital chi and transforming it into vital chi transmutation. With so much vital chi, are you trying to refine a true essence within your body? You should obediently come back with me to the Netherworld. The Lord of the Netherworld has already said that once you die, he will crown you as the king of the Netherworld and lead the 10 halls in the Netherworld. Bai Auren firmly said no. Foundation establishment Shuelian said in an old custom that if the time comes, and you haven't found a way to extend your life, I will come to take your soul. Then she left. Bai Auren also feels somewhat helpless. For 3,000 years, she has been constantly struggling with the bottleneck of foundation establishment, surviving on longevity Dan. Those who had high hopes for him back then, some have ascended, while others failed during passing the heavenly tribulation. And those who wanted to harm him, all the people who wanted to harm the Azure Abyss Sword Sect were eliminated by him. Looking at himself when he first fell in love, the senior and junior sisters, who had feelings for him, became immortal partners with others. He, on the other hand, has been alone for 3,000 years. He rejected becoming the sect leader of the Azure Abyss Sword Sect and chose to live alone with the Grand Elder at the secluded Seven Stars Peak. A person without a Daoist partner and without fame. He has been in the chi refining stage for 3,000 years. He only shouted in order to successfully establish the foundation establishment Bai Auren. Really troublesome, it seems. This time, he will have to go down the mountain to look for the medicinal materials for the longevity Dan. Inside the ancient prefecture, there are 10 countries. Among the 10 countries, there is the Upper Xian Kingdom located below the Azure Abyss Mountain in Sword Hanging Town. Exactly the alchemy materials that Bai Auren is looking for this time. He can find them all within the boundaries of the Upper Xian Kingdom. Sir, do you think this horse is suitable? Bai Auren rode up. It feels good. Okay, I'll buy it. Bai Auren did not rush attainment to travel quickly. Instead, he went to buy a horse. Then, he leisurely proceeded along the official road of Upper Xian Kingdom, riding my beloved pony. There will never be traffic jams here. Bai Auren was in a very good mood at this moment. He suddenly remembered an important thing. How does this horse brake? Extremely speechless. He can only do this. Just ride like this for now. Look at the map. Bai Auren thought the first location is Mang Mountain. At this pace, it will probably take me 6 to 7 days. 3 people suddenly darted out from a distance. They shouted, "Stop!" He could tell that these 3 people didn't seem friendly. One of them loudly shouted, "Hey, it's you! White hair!" At this moment, Bai Auren stopped his horse in front of the 3 of them. "Stop. Is there anything I can help you with?" One of the bald men said, "My brothers and I see that you, young master, have a remarkable demeanor. We would like to borrow some money for immediate use in the martial world." As he was speaking, other bandits started approaching Bai Auren from different directions. Robbery, everyone. If I remember correctly, this is the official road of Upper Xian Kingdom. At the same time, he also investigated several people's stages. The bald man sneered and said, "So what if it's the official road? The Emperor of Upper Xian is critically ill now, and the station soldiers have been withdrawn. If you don't give us money today, even if the God of Heaven comes, you can't expect to be saved." Bai Auren couldn't help but feel emotional when he heard the bandits' words. Hundreds of years ago, when he descended from the mountain, the Upper Xian Kingdom was prosperous with music and dance. But now, it seems to be different. Immortal cultivators do not get involved in worldly power struggles. This is the teaching of beloved Shifu. But encountering bandits on the road is a different matter. He thought about it and drew his sword. The minion shouted loudly at Bai Auren, "Dare to resist even when you see how many of us there are." Bai Auren thought to himself, "The power struggles within the Upper Xian Kingdom are their own business. But these bandits harm the common people. When encountering Azure Abyss disciples like this, it has always been to eradicate evil without mercy." At the moment when he was about to make a move, a loud shout suddenly rang out. "Stop right there!" Everyone was startled and turned to look at the newcomer. The newcomer was dressed in a sturdy white outfit and was rushing towards here at high speed. A punch from me landed right on the face of the minions. This flying kick was very beautiful. Even the main characters had to applaud loudly in appreciation. The thrown minions were directly caught in the arms of the bald man. The bald man shouted, "Who goes there?" And the newcomer roared back, "Broad daylight." Bright universe. How dare you block the official road and commit robbery? You really do not take the laws of the Upper Xian Kingdom seriously. When the bandits heard that someone came to meddle in their affairs, they laughed heartily and said, "Laws of the kingdom? Screw the laws of the kingdom. These days, satisfying our own needs is what truly matters. Brothers, let's go together. This is also a fat sheep." When they were about to take action, the younger brother stopped the bald man and said, "Boss, please show mercy with your machete later. I want to stay alive." The younger brother had a lewd expression on his face. "Brothers, hee hee hee." I didn't expect that they are also a group of perverts. The bald man looked at the two of them, licked his lips, and said, "Well, this white-haired one looks good too. We'll take them all back later." The two of them looked grim. "I'm very angry," one of them said. The bald man drew his sword and charged forward. Both of them sneered contemptuously at the shameless gangsters. The mysterious hero didn't hesitate and rushed forward with his sword drawn. His figure flickered. A sword light slashed out, and he shouted, "Prepare to die!" The bald man saw the opponent's move and thought to himself, "This is bad. Vital Chi's sword aura." Just as a 40-meter-long sword chi pierced through the bald man's throat. Bai Auren saw the situation and thought to himself that the bald man turned out to be a fellow cultivator at the chi refining stage. The minions at the body tempering stage were greatly shocked. It was vital chi used by the chi refining stage cultivator. "Quickly run, or we will be doomed." As they spoke, they already hastily fled. Seeing the crowd running away, the mysterious hero snorted coldly, sheathed his sword. Just at that moment, Bai Auren walked over. He drew the sword at his waist and struck out with a slash, only to see the sword chi shooting out instantly. The bandit who hadn't run far was directly cut in half at the waist. A family must be orderly. All the bandits fell to the ground together. The trees hit by the sword chi also fell down in response. Bai Auren clasped his fists in gratitude to the brother for helping out. "I have not yet had the honor to inquire about your honorable surname and given name." The mysterious hero questioned. "They have all already fled. Why did you have to exterminate them all?" Bai Auren smiled faintly. "Today, you and I spared them. But by tomorrow or the day after, they will forget their fear and continue to harm others. Will they spare the innocent when that time comes?" The mysterious figure looked at the serious Bai Auren, who surprisingly could not retort. Bai Auren once again clasped his fist and said, "Brother, please help me. May I ask for your name?" The mysterious hero continued to ask, "With your abilities, there is no need for me to intervene. It was my nosiness that caused this." Bai Auren replied, "No, no, no. Your strength is not important in my eyes. What's important is the sense of justice you show when you see injustices. I should be the one inviting you for a drink." Listening to Bai Auren's great principles, the mysterious person once again couldn't refute. Suddenly he remembered that this person didn't answer both times when he asked for their name. Thinking of the response, he said, "My name is Tang Vane." Bai Auren, seeing the other party introduce themselves, asked, "Brother Tang, do you know where there is a restaurant nearby?" Bai Auren muttered to himself, "Let me check the map. There's a small town over here." Tang Vane thought to himself, "Wait, I haven't agreed to have a drink with you yet." The scene shifted. A tavern appeared. Bai Auren and Tang Vane finished their drinks in one gulp. Tang Vane, who was drinking alcohol for the first time, choked and coughed. Bai Auren burst into laughter at the scene. Tang Vane couldn't help but complain. "Spicy! So spicy! What is this? How could anyone find this drink enjoyable?" Bai Auren joked, "Brother Tang, is this your first time traveling far from home? You don't need to drink too much. The key to drinking is your mindset. Getting drunk not only affects your work, but also isn't good for your health." Tang Vane sighed. "If it weren't for Brother Bai, I wouldn't be drinking today." Bai Auren advised, "Don't you think it's a great pleasure to meet like-minded people and enjoy a drink together?" Tang Vane retorted, "It also depends on the timing and occasion. I have important matters to attend to." Bai Auren continued, "I do too. It's extremely urgent and a matter of life and death. However, I realized a truth some time ago. The road ahead is long. There's no need to be in such a hurry. Enjoying the beauty of life is the true meaning of life. So even if it's extremely urgent, I am not in a rush." Tang Vane is dismissive of the urgency. "It's a matter of life and death. I don't think you're in a rush at all," Bai Auren said. "This time, I mainly came out to collect some medicinal herbs that I need myself. The location is in the middle of Mang Mountain, Tang Vane said. I'll also go to Mang Mountain. That's too coincidental. I need to remind you. Recently, the fiend demon has been appearing in that mountain area, devouring people alive. Many of the nearby residents have suffered from its clutches. Even martial arts experts have suffered injuries and deaths. Bai Auren realized that the fiend demon is rampant on Mang Mountain. So he said, the ancient prefecture is a major faction in immortal cultivation. It is where the Azure Abyss Sword Sect is located. With fiend demon causing chaos in the world, why not seek help from the people of Azure Abyss Sword Sect? As soon as he heard this, Tang Vane became unhappy. Do you know why the people of Upper Xian Kingdom live in deep water and scorching fire? It's all because the Emperor of Upper Xian and his royal sons believe the malicious words of the Imperial Master, all seeking longevity without caring for the governance of the country. And that Upper Xian Imperial Master, he is the one sent by the Azure Abyss Sword Sect. There is such a thing. Bai Auren thought that he couldn't just take his word for it. It seems that I have to go to the capital to see. I must not let the sect that beloved Shifu established be disgraced. Bai Auren changes the subject and doesn't mention these things. Brother Tang, since your destination is also Mang Mountain, why don't we travel together for mutual support? What do you think? Tang Vane replied. All right. Let's set off after we have eaten. Bai Auren wiped out the bandits and found out that Tang Vane also went to Mang Mountain. So the two of them decided to travel together. Brother Tang, please wait for me, he said, and then he ran to the other side. You over here. What's going on over here? Be obedient. Looked at Bai Auren. Tang Vane on the side speechless. I saw you leading a horse out. I thought you would ride it. Didn't expect you to be so talented. Surprisingly, you can't even ride a horse. Bai Auren, sweating profusely. In the past, I used to walk whenever I needed to travel. Tang Vane asked inquisitively. Then why did you buy a horse? When you have too much money and nowhere to spend it. Bai Auren helplessly said. I bought a horse when I was in a good mood. Tang Vane teased. I'm starting to regret agreeing to travel with you. The journey that could have taken 3 days ended up taking you 5 days. Bai Auren apologized. Sorry. Getting older makes me more sluggish in temperament. Tang Vane thought to himself. How old could he be? He's not much older than me. But he said aloud. Tell the horse when we arrive at Mang Mountain tonight. After all, you can't ride anyway. With your attainment level, you might as well walk, as it's faster. Auren Bai thought to himself. It seems like there's some truth to this. Only to see Tang Vane urging. Hurry up. In a little while, it will be getting dark. The scene suddenly shifts. A small town at the foot of Mang Mountain. Tang Vane got off his horse and said, Let's find a shop first. I'll go inquire about the fiend demon of Mang Mountain. Sure, Brother Tang. I'll order some food and drinks, replied his companion. In the end, Tang Vane found the tavern boy to ask about the situation of the fiend demon in Mang Mountain. The tavern boy animatedly recounted the story. It is said that several lives have been lost due to the fiend demon. This fiend demon moves extremely fast. Once a black shadow flashes by, the attacked person is left as a mere corpse. Recently, a group of martial artists went to subdue it, but none of them returned. They hope that the celestial being in the mountains can intervene. Otherwise, those who are meant to die will die, and those who are meant to escape will escape. It seems like there won't be a single person left alive nearby. Tang Vane said discontentedly. There's no need for them to take action. We mortals will handle it ourselves. Tavern boy inquired whether young master wants to eliminate the fiend. He advised that the fiend demon is very dangerous. Don't go to your death. You can negotiate with those martial artists. As long as you offer money and the request to eliminate the monster, they will go with you. Tang Vane looked around the tavern and indeed found many martial artists drinking and chatting. Tang Vane asked back, Hasn't the local government issued a reward for eliminating the fiend? Tavern boy replied, What's the point? The Emperor of Upper Xian is obsessed with immortal spells and has no interest in the lives of us common folks. These days, the government's money is all being used to supply the Imperial Master's alchemy. They oppress the common people so much that they don't even have time for it. How could they be willing to spend money to hire someone to eliminate the fiend? We have long lost hope in the government. Tang Vane came to the seat in front of him with a very low mood. Bai Auren asked, "What's wrong, Brother Tang? You don't look very good. Is that fiend demon very powerful?" Tang Vane angrily knocked on the table and said, "Yes, it is very powerful. Tomorrow I will take you to the horse market. Let's sell the horse and go our separate ways." Bai Auren asked in confusion, "Why? I also want to go to Mang Mountain." Tang Vane replied, "Because I need to handle official business. Listen to me. After gathering the herbs, you should leave quickly on your own. The fiend demon in the mountains is very dangerous for us martial arts masters. Don't provoke it if you don't have to." Bai Auren realized he was trying to protect himself by not letting me follow him. Since Brother Tang has said his piece here, I won't push it further. I won't go through that door. I'm happy to have met you as a friend. He raised a glass to Tang Vane as he spoke. They also wished each other a safe journey. They drank until late into the night before parting ways. The next morning, the two of them came to the horse market and sold the horse. Bai Auren waved goodbye to the white horse that he had spent a few days with. He asked young Master Tang if he really wouldn't go up the mountain with him. Tang Vane said he still had some things to take care of here. Bai Auren waved goodbye to Tang Vane, saying, "If fate allows, see you next time." The most powerful Mahayana stage fiend beast in the world was slain by him with a single sword. He is now playing with a flat-chested girl. Bai Auren went alone to the middle of Mang Mountain, although there were rampaging fiend demons in Mang Mountain. But these things are nothing to worry about for Bai Auren. Bai Auren's needed Foundation Establishment Dan pills have long drifted away from the immortal cultivation world. The prototype he used for the Foundation Establishment Dan pills has been altered significantly, with a lot of personal additions. It has become unrecognizable, and is now a mere ordinary cultivator. If one were to break through using his Foundation Establishment Dan pills, they would probably face annihilation. Although lacking the Foundation Establishment, after experiencing continuous tempering for 3,000 years, Bai Auren's divine mind is exceptionally powerful. His divine mind can even materialize attacks through the power of thought. It is more terrifying than the average celestial being. With his powerful divine mind for exploration, in just a few days, Bai Auren had almost collected all the medicinal ingredients needed to refine the Foundation Establishment Dan pills. He also solved the problem of several fiend beasts that were about to take form along the way. "I found it! I found it! This is the last medicinal ingredient. If not for the fact that the medicinal ingredients needed for my Foundation Establishment Dan pills are too rare, even the Sect's warehouse doesn't have them in stock, I wouldn't have to go all the way to Mang Mountain to collect herbs. Now that the medicinal ingredients for the Foundation Establishment Dan pills are all gathered, it's time to search for the ingredients for the Longevity Dan." As soon as he thinks of the Longevity Dan, Auren becomes furious. While others can achieve longevity and freedom after 3,000 years, he has been targeted by the Soul Captor after living for 3,000 years. I still must refine the Longevity Dan. Otherwise, I will have another conflict with the Netherworld. My beloved Sherfu is still in the Celestial Realm, and I cannot recklessly act to avoid affecting my beloved Sherfu's future. Next, I will go collect the ingredients for the Longevity Dan. Suddenly, Auren remembered that there was another matter that must be dealt with. There is a fiend demon causing trouble within Mang Mountain. It harms the common people. As a member of the Azure Abyss Sword Sect, no matter how others view the sect, I cannot leave it unattended. He then launched the Divine Mind scan. The Divine Mind spread out from the center of Bai Auren. Wherever the Divine Mind scanned, all the scenes were transmitted back to Bai Auren's mind. Suddenly, a cave caught Bai Auren's attention. The divine mind scanned inside and discovered a fiend demon wandering in the cave. He explored and found out that this fiend demon was discovered several days ago, and they have just been obediently feeding in the cave. They did not go out to attack others. Wait, what is that below? This is actually the boss corpse mother. This may have some hidden details. But don't worry, let me clear out these fiend demons first. After that, I will inquire further. Investigating any attack incidents should reveal the truth. Another person is fighting against the corpse fiend. From the aura, it seems that he is not a match for the corpse fiend. Bai Auren retracted the divine mind, so let's help out while we're at it. Bai Auren only saw a slight bow. He stepped down forcefully. With a bang, the ground that he stepped on cracked open. Bai Auren is extremely fast. Only the sound of the air being torn could be heard. The air wave generated by his passing overturned everything in its path. In the blink of an eye, he had already arrived outside the cave entrance. A loud noise. Bai Auren had already crashed onto the ground. He fell directly into the cave that had just been scanned by the divine mind. The dust cleared after a moment. Bai Auren was startled. He looked at the bodies on the ground. Bai Auren thought to himself, the bodies are very fresh. Are these martial artists associated with that person? It shouldn't be him in a few days. Then he ran towards the depths of the cave. Bai Auren went in and found that the cave was full of skeletons. The bones were like a forest. It was indeed a scene of corpses and blood. The stench was really unbearable. After he entered the cave, he found Tang Vane fighting with two giant fiends. He leaped lightly, faster than flying spiritual artifact. Just one strike, and he defeated the transforming fast fiend beast. He is now going to slay demons and evil spirits. A martial arts master is at death's door. There is dead silence all around. All the people who came can no longer get up. Looking at everything in front of him, Tang Vane weakly thought that it shouldn't be like this. This time, he came out of the house to prove that ordinary people don't need to rely on immortal cultivators to protect themselves. This will hopefully help his father, who is immersed in immortal spells, to wake up. He spent all his money and pawned many pieces of jewelry just to raise funds. He gathered a group of martial arts masters to subdue the fiend demon. He thought everything would be foolproof, but he didn't expect that in the mountains, the fiend demon was not just one as the villagers claimed, and all of them were chi-refining higher-layer corpse fiends. Am I going to die here? He looked desperate as corpse fiend Tang Vane charged towards him. Tang Vane did not give up. He was determined to fight to the death. He mustered up the last bit of vital chi and roared, "Fiend demon! You're all going to die!" The fiend also charged forward with a loud roar. At a critical moment, a pair of huge hands slapped over. The strength of the two vital chi is strong. Golden light radiated wherever they passed. Just a loud bang. An explosion erupted ahead. Tang Vane, who was prepared to fight to the death, was confused. What's going on? At this moment, the sound of footsteps landing was heard. Bai Auren happily said, "Brother Tang, we meet again." Tang Vane was stunned. "How did you come here?" Bai Auren explained, "I'm here to rid the people of evil. If I hear there's still a fiend demon around, how can I not do something? My beloved master will kill me if they find out." Tang Vane expressed concern. "But it's still too dangerous for you to come here alone." Suddenly, Tang Vane was startled and looked behind Bai Auren. A corpse fiend attacked from behind. Shouting out, "Danger!" Tang Vane alerted everyone. Bai Auren raised his finger, and then unleashed a long rainbow finger attack from behind. A golden light flashed by, accompanied by a loud noise. Corpse Fiend was instantly beaten to pieces. This is not over yet. The golden light not only shredded the fiend but also pierced through the cave. In the end, the golden light pierced through the sky, breaking through the horizon. This forces Bai Auren to establish a fixed position. Tang Vane thought to himself, "Bai Auren, your strength is truly unfathomable. Bai Auren suddenly said. Brother Tang, we may have a little trouble. Tang Vane looked puzzled. Was the move we just made too much for the body to handle? Bai Auren looked helpless. It's just that the reactionary force from the previous move was quite strong. This floor might not hold up. There's nothing beneath it. As he finished speaking, the ground cracked open. Their bodies dropped down below. Tang Vane was so scared that he screamed loudly. People are almost deformed. Bai Auren still had a calm and composed expression as he said, See. Brother Tang, I was right, wasn't I? Tang Vane, who lost his soul, shouted, Don't look! Hurry and help me! My vital chi is gone! Bai Auren could only approach Tang Vane when he saw the situation. He made a flying gesture preparing to grab Tang Vane. Suddenly, two corpse fiends rushed over from below. Bai Auren raised his hand. He directly used Death Finger. Two strands of vital chi instantly pierced through the body of the corpse fiend. At the same time, Bai Auren also reached out and grabbed Tang Vane's hand. Bai Auren covered both of them with vital chi. Then he said, Get ready to land. Grab onto me, Bai Auren thought. This way, we will be safe. There's just no time to adjust our posture. This is also what Bai Auren was actually thinking about, what posture to land in. A golden light flashed by and smashed into the ground. This man is too powerful, just a light tap like that. Vital chi surged directly out of the earth and flew into the universe. The ground simply couldn't withstand the reactive force. The two of them fell down. Bai Auren got up and asked, Brother Tang, you're not injured, are you? Tang Vane's face blushed instantly. Bai Auren's hand rested on his body. He was so scared that he screamed loudly. He was flustered, quickly stepping backward. Bai Auren raised his hands and said, It's all good. Brother Tang, please don't misunderstand. I'm not interested in men. Tang Vane was also a bit confused. Hey, he didn't notice it at all. Bai Auren said, Earlier I was worried. I wondered if Brother Tang might be a girl disguised as a man. But now I am reassured. Brother Tang's chest muscles are indeed strong and tough from training. So you must be a man. Tang Vane felt awful. He felt like his whole being was falling apart. Although her true identity has not been discovered by Bai Auren, why is she so angry? Bai Auren used a spell to illuminate us. Let's go, Brother Tang, to take care of the main body of these fiend demons. Tang Vane followed behind, questioning the meaning. Aren't those corpse fiends also fiend demons? Bai Auren smiled and said that's not its main body, just one of its components. You will see it soon. They walked to the bottom. Bai Auren increased the illumination directly. Tang Vane was instantly shocked by the scene in front of him. It was disgusting. Countless flesh masses merged together, extending a long neck covered in hair. Bai Auren said, This demonic Guai, born from absorbing heavy yin chi and resentment chi, we call it the corpse mother. But it's strange, why would such a thing exist in this desolate and uninhabited mountain forest? Tang Vane reminded to think about it later. It seems like it's going to attack us. The corpse mother looked fiercely, with red eyes. A humanoid creature floated up from below, and with a roar, spit out a fiend onto the ground. It opened its mouth and screamed, then charged towards them. Bai Auren was at a loss for words. I don't want to touch this thing either. Tang Vane also said that this kind of thing is sticky. I can only do melee. I don't want to touch it either. Bai Auren raised his hand and struck out with Sky Strike Palm. With a loud smack, Vital Chi struck directly on the fiend. Vital Chi swept the fiend backwards. This time, it also created a big hole in the physical body of the corpse mother. But the corpse mother gives birth to fiends at a relatively fast pace. In the blink of an eye, it spits out several fiends. Tang Vane commented, It's really disgusting. Does it have no limits? It's only been a short while, and it has already spit out so many. But Bai Auren said, the corpse mother can turn all corpses within its range into corpse fiends. Tang Vane became worried. What should we do about this? If we keep dragging on like this, will your vital chi be sufficient? Bai Auren smiled. It's alright. As long as we eliminate the corpse fiend and corpse mother together, it will be fine. Several fiends are attacking from different angles at this moment. Tang Vane was surprised. They are so fast. Much more aggressive than the previous ones. Bai Auren raised his hand. Thunder Seal formed directly at his fingertips, and both eyes started flashing with lightning. The male lead is really strong. He can easily defeat opponents with just one move. Encountered a big fiend demon, and the male lead saved the day with Thunder Spell. He cast Thunder Seal with one move. Flashes of lightning filled the sky. Crackling sounds of electricity were incessant. The power of lightning and thunder raged. This move is a group attack. It directly cleans up the cave. His series of actions left Tang Vane speechless, exclaiming how powerful it is. Bai Auren breathed a sigh of relief as the corpse mother was eliminated. There won't be new corpse fiends born for a short period of time. However, there are still 2 corpse fiends buried in the soil outside the cave. These beasts are probably intended to be used to block the entrance from the other side. I will take care of them later. Tang Vane clasped his hands in gratitude and said, It's thanks to you that I am still alive. Without you, I might have died here. Bai Auren modestly replied, It's nothing. I just couldn't stand injustice. However, this corpse mother has long surpassed the strength of the chi refining stage. Yet you managed to kill her with just one strike. Who exactly are you? What if I say I am a cultivator from the Azure Abyss Sword Sect? Bai Auren heard the words. Tang Vane burst into laughter. Bai Auren asked, Why don't you believe it? Tang Vane laughed and said, I can tell. You are just at the chi refining stage like me. In the eyes of immortal cultivators, we are not considered as part of the Azure Abyss Sword Sect. Upon hearing, You are just at the chi refining stage, Bai Auren's anger surged up instantly. Bai Auren sighed. He said helplessly, Let me take you out first. The smell here is just unbearable. Tang Vane, who had just walked out of the cave, took a deep breath. She exclaimed, It feels like a rebirth. She then inquired about the whereabouts of the 2 corpse fiends. Bai Auren's divine mind swept over, and found that a cultivator was battling the remaining 2 corpse fiends, and was close to winning. Bai Auren quickly pulled Tang Vane and ran towards the direction of the battle. Upon arrival, the 2 of them saw a cultivator in purple robes engaged in combat. The cultivator in purple robes had remarkable strength. He moved easily between the 2 corpse fiends. He leaped up into the air, waved 2 small flags, and recited an incantation with confidence. Then he yelled loudly, Evil obstacles, perish! Only to see the small flag thrown by the purple-robed cultivator explode as it hit the 2 corpse fiends with a bang. A gust of energy rushed towards the 2 of them. Tang Vane, who was hiding on the side, looked at the purple-robed cultivator and said, It's Sima Render. Bai Auren asked in confusion, Do you recognize this person? Tang Vane replied, He is the last disciple of the current Imperial Master Fu Eternus of the Upper Xin Kingdom. Tang Vane complained, He's a damn immortal cultivator. Not a single one of them is a good person. Bai Auren standing beside felt like he was also being criticized. Corpse Fiend was easily defeated by Sima Render. Sima Render appeared in front of the 2. Shouted loudly, Princess, come out! I saw you, Bai Auren, looking confused. Then I looked at Tang Vane next to me. She's actually a girl? Bai Auren was shocked beyond words. Her chest muscles are still so hard. How is it possible for her to be a woman? Bai Auren has no strength to complain anymore. Tang Vane, with a displeased expression, asked Sima Render, What are you doing here? Sima Render replied, Naturally, I am here to vanquish demons and evil spirits. But what should we do if the princess encounters trouble outside the palace on her own? This fiend demon is not something you can handle. If there are more of them, I will also hold a grudge here. Tang Vane was displeased. Where to go is the palace's freedom. You don't need to interfere. Sima Arender respectfully said. But half a month later is the Upper Shin Kingdom Heavenly Sacrifice Ceremony. His Majesty ordered us to come out and find the princess. We must bring you back to the palace. Please understand His Majesty's trouble, and us servants as well. Tang Vane replied. I will go back. But I won't go back with you. Sima Arender saw the situation and immediately flew away on a spiritual artifact. The two remaining people could only describe the current situation with 3 words. So awkward now. Tang Vane spoke first, saying, Ask whatever you want to ask. Bai Auren glanced at Tang Vane's chest, only to see a flat runway. He confirmed once again, Brother Tang, are you really a princess? At this moment, Tang Vane heard Bai Auren's question. It was a real social death scene. Surprised, shy, embarrassed, overjoyed. These reactions should not be recognized. Is it a normal reaction for a companion in women's clothing to be mistaken for a man? Why is there still suspicion about his authenticity? Of course it's real. Tang Vane even lifted his chest as he spoke. At this moment, Bai Auren was left with only astonishment and embarrassment. The topic shifted. Bai Auren asked if Sima Arender's master was the Imperial Master sent by the Azure Abyss Sword Sect. I noticed some craftiness in his moves. Tang Vane replied, Then how would I know? Those immortal cultivators only come down the mountain to accept disciples. They rarely communicate with us. Our knowledge of the Azure Abyss Sword Sect all comes from ancient texts. Tang Vane replied, Then I'll go search for the answer myself. Brother Tang, I only have one question for you now. What is your real name? Tang Vane's real name is Tang Vaylin. I am the first princess of Upper Shin Kingdom. Bai Auren couldn't help but praise the good name. Regardless of your gender, we are friends. I am friends with you not because of gender, status, or ability, but because of your courage. In the future, if you encounter any difficulties, I will do my best to help. Tang Vaylin asked, What about you? The medicinal ingredients have been gathered. Are you going back now? No, I have only gathered one set of medicine. My life is coming to an end. I still need another set to extend it. Next, I also plan to head to the capital city where several medicinal ingredients need to be obtained there. Moreover, I am quite interested in the Imperial Master from Azure Abyss Sword Sect. When Tang Vaylin heard this, he happily said, It seems that we are on the same path again. This time, let me invite you. Shall we travel together?